FlossTube. It's August 20th, 2016, for posterity and stuff. And I'm Elisa from Dragon Stitches, and I know it's been a while since I made a video. Actually, you'll see in a minute, this is actually going to be 2 videos in one. I started a video, gosh, it's on the 10th of August, you'll see. And it was a very short video. I think it was like maybe 15 minutes, if that. But I was super not there. I just wanted to get one done because I had gotten a little bit done on Delilah and my Ronald McDonald house, and I wanted to show. But school got in the way and I didn't actually upload it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it on to the beginning of this one, and you can see that, and then I will go on and I will show my progress from there. So without further ado, let's travel back in time to August and see exactly where I was then. Good afternoon, FlossTube. It is August 8th, and this is Elisa from Dragon Stitches. I've had not a rough couple weeks, just busy with other things, which is why I haven't been making any videos. I had a big project due at the end of July. We did 3D modeling of, excuse, I am going a little tank girl today. I went and I clipped this myself just to save money and save me from going to the, hairdressers every couple weeks. So I've learned to clip this myself, but today I decided I was not going to use any of the guard, so it is very short, and I'm just noticing right now how short it is. It's not bad. I prefer it to go as short as possible so it will last longer, because I really don't like it when it grows out. So undercuts for life. Yeah. So I'm a little punkier than I usually am, and I still need to do my roots. That's the next step. Bleach my roots and redo the pink. But anyway, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk about cross stitch, and I've actually got a bit done. I started doing, continued working first on my Ronald McDonald house, because I think last time you guys saw it, I had finished the house. So what I had left was to do the personalization at the bottom. So I'll show you where I'm at right now. It has been put away for about a week. I worked on it, this is probably just 4 or 5 days of work. Of course, it has tons of hair on it, even though I've been very careful about putting it away. So here's where it is at now. See? So the bottom here, it says, wait, I think I may have showed you this with maybe just a little bit of the border done. Anyway, so here's the thing. So I did the personalization because the phrase down there, if you see it, it says La Maison au Cœur de la Vie. That was actually charted by, I charted it, hand charted it based on the person who did the stitching for the Montreal house. She had done it originally, so I kind of used some of her ideas, but I changed up some of the letters. So I charted that and the names, like this is it basically says Ronald McDonald House of Quebec, and the directors, which is what they wanted included. And I decided to do them in different colors just to mix it up a little bit so it wasn't all black at the bottom. And I'm really happy I did. There's only one thing, and I'm really noticing it here now that I put it up on thing. This and these 2 lines should all be moved over one stitch this way. I don't know how. I've gone back and I've I made sure this was in the center. I made sure when I made these three, it was the same width, so I could center it up perfect. I don't know what happened, but it only became apparent once I put the border on, which is a little frustrating. I put the border on I started over here, and then when I got down here, and then I got up here, and I'm like, that's not good. No, actually, wait. That's not correct. I started here, and I went over here, and I went up here. The only problem with frogging this at this point is it is going to leave big holes. You can see on V at the very last here. You can see here. There are holes where I frogged it, and it is so apparent. If I have to frog all of this and move it one over, the holes are going to be horrible. So I'm very tempted to just keep it as it is. It's a little quirkier, you know, it's not quite centered. It bugs me tremendously, but I think it would bother me way more if the holes were there. So I'm about halfway done the border now, and I had to put it away because it was just boring. These borders are like 4x8 blocks of just cross stitch, and yeah, it goes pretty easy, but you're stitching that 4x8 32 stitch box, and I managed to figure out exactly how much floss I need. So I cut my floss to the thing, and I've only used one length of floss for each block, so that there's no, they don't cross over on the back. There's no carrying threads on the back. So, like I said, I have, a little bit less than half to do, and then it is done and ready for framing. I left plenty of room around it, so it should be framed pretty easily. The deadline on this that I've given myself is mid-September, I think. Although it might need to be sooner. It might need to be like the end of August. If so, I'm going to have to really just buckle down, and I think I could get it knocked out in like a day, maybe 2 days, if I really just sat down and did it. But it's just so boring and repetitive and just kind of annoying. Anyway, so still loving stitching it though. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy that this is going to be displayed somewhere. So yep, so that's the Ronald McDonald House style. If you have any interest, I know they're still looking for people to stitch houses, especially in Europe. They have a few, so if you're European or you know people in Europe, or they're even planning on, for people who they can't find anyone who stitched near there, they're going to be sending. They're going to find people to send or deliver, hand deliver by other means. Which is kind of cool. Mine's getting hand delivered by my parents. I've mentioned that before, because it is in Quebec City, and there's no way I can take time off of school to go out to Quebec City right now. Not to mention I can't afford a trip right now, so. Oh, I missed a little bit. That's annoying. Okay, never mind. Stop looking at your hair, Elisa. Okay. I don't know why I'm plowing through this. I have school in about, I have to leave for school in about an hour or so, just a little bit over an hour, and it's not going too bad. Like I said, I had a project due that was kind of a big deal. It was a car that we had to model. It came out okay, but you never know, right? So anyway, so the other big thing is on Stitch Mania, there is a sale going on for the month of August, with sale being Stitch Along. And it is called the All That Glitters sale. So how ironic that it is, a sale specifically for pieces that had beads or metallic floss to make it sparkle, and I was working in the middle of one, and I was working on the Krennic. So I decided on, I believe it was the 1st or the 2nd of August last week, to pull out Delilah, put away the roller, and take out Delilah, and tackle the Moon of Doom. Oh, you can just see right through it. I don't have anything to put behind it. Anyway. So that is Delilah now, and as you can see, I finished the Moon of Doom. Yeah, I worked on it, God, 4 or 5 days, not in a row because I had other things to do, but yeah, It there's 2.5 spools of Krennic in the moon alone of periwinkle. Look, that's the color that's in the moon. And you can actually see it a lot better on the screen than you can mostly in person. No, that does not work. I'll have to go over here. Anyway, you can see through it, whatever. It's very translucent, the Krennic, I'm finding. You can see the modeling through, which is kind of unfortunate because I was really hoping the moon would cover the little rest of the face down here. You can hardly notice it. If you didn't see the face before, you'd never know that this was the end of the face. I've seen the face. I can't unsee the face, so it will always be there. I think it's kind of cute. My Delilah's sitting on the... Anyway. No! No, no, no! PG FlossTube. So yeah, I did the beading at the same time. You can see there. And that worked out perfectly. I had no problem with that at all. And then I just started doing the beading up here, and you can't really see it, but here in the wings and here between the wings, there's the same periwinkle Krennic, just one stitch on the outside on the outline. And I think it's supposed to give it like a moon glowy effect. And it's unfortunate though, because the periwinkle just disappears on this fabric, but it does add a nice little sparkle in just the right direction. So I'm happy to put it there. I was debating whether I wanted to do it or not, and I'm such a pattern purist that I have to kind of do it. So it's there. It's not very noticeable, right? Yeah, there's Krennic right around there. Sorry, I was interrupted by the kiddo needing cash, of course, and then phone call, and then okay. So like I was saying, I'm a bit of a pattern purist, so I had to put the Krennic around the inside, which I don't really mind. I don't have much left to do, just a little bit on the inside here. The next part in this, what I'm going to do is probably finish up these golden scales here. I'm sorry if you can hear Dante. He's extremely upset that my child is out and not here. So these scales, I don't want to give you the finger. These scales come all the way down here, all over here. And then there's more purple, this purple back stitching around here and around here. And there's some gold back stitching down here as well. And then there's this kind of dark gray back stitching over everything else. And then I get to move it up, and I have a bunch of stitches kind of like this kind of like ribbony kind of things going on. What are you doing? He's concerned face, so he has to come over. These kind of ribbony things, there's some of those down here by the tail, but I'm going to end up moving this all up to do that. I'm probably just going to leave the top clamp off to try not to disturb these beads. But yeah, there is still a lot of work to be done on Delilah. And it seems, once I got all these crosses done, I'm like, oh, I'm almost there. No, there's so much more. And it's very frustrating, but in a good kind of way. So I am really, really stoked for her to be done. I'm not doing in the bewitching cross stitch, it is charted with a frame, like a rectangular frame of the white Krennic, which is the Krennic that's on the outside of the moon, and some beads as well. I'm leaving that out because my dream is to get this at least matted by Jill Ransel Studios, or Ransel Studios, and they do beautiful interesting shapes with the mats and stuff. So I decided to leave, that's why I wanted to leave the stitch frame off of this one. But I put the stitch frame on the other one. I'm of two minds about frames. Anyway, Delilah is looking fantastic. And yeah, so I basically am just sticking these two projects right now, and probably will until they're done. So yeah. I hope everyone had a great stitchy week. I'm going to go see what my whining dog is whining all about. He might need to go out. This is another really short video. I don't really have much else to say than that. I hope everyone has a great Stitchy week. Bye. Okay. As you can see, I was very, very close to finishing Delilah. And since then, even though school has been a little hectic, I've still tried to stitch at least a little bit each day. So today, I actually managed to finish her. She's still on the stand. I literally finished her like 5 minutes ago, and then I set up for this, and she's still on the stand for a very good reason. So this is where I finished off. Like I was saying previously, I only had really the tail left to do, and that's all done. I included my initials and the year there. They're a little squished, but I think it looks good. So much beading. So when I had to put, you'll notice it looks like she's clipped in, but Elisa, why would you put a clip on top of all that beading? I didn't. So I had to figure out a way to keep it. I couldn't just keep it loose. I tried just doing it with it loose. I need some tension. This isn't great tension, but at least it's better than none. So what I ended up doing, and I'll show you this because I have to take her off now. Oh, because she's finally done. So let's take the needle minder off and put it on the lamp, and then I will show you what I did. So you see up here, this is rolled kind of like a scroll frame, and what I did is I clipped it up where there were no beads. So I clipped it all the way at the top of, you'll see right here, see, that's where the clip is, and then I just rolled it. It was the last thing I put on too, and then I just rolled it up, and it worked so well. So I definitely know what I'm going to be doing in the future. Let's take these off. I wanted to get this done. I was so close, and I just could feel the finish. I just wanted to get it done. So since this morning, I think I was up at 8:30. Well, the second time. And so I was up at 8:30, and yeah. So here she is in all of her glory. Completely finished. Completely done. Here's Delilah, also known as Crescent Moon Dragon or Celestial Dragon. The pattern's actually marketed under a couple different ways. There's a kit that they've done up for her, and for this pattern, and it's marketed under Celestial Dragon. And in Bewitching Cross Stitch and Dragons and Unicorns, I think was the other book it was in, it's Crescent Moon Dragon, I believe. So here she is. Beautiful. So sparkly, like so sparkly. You can't even see it on here, but she is so sparkly. And the beads at the bottom, oh my gosh. I did those this morning. That's where I finished off this morning. I just finished off with this bead. That was the last bead I put on. Yay, after doing the back stitching over here. I started her on Mother's Day this year, which was May 3rd or 4th or something. So I'm pretty impressed with myself that I managed to finish her in 3.5 months, basically. So yeah, super stoked. Unfortunately, she's probably not going to be getting framed anytime soon because I have big plans for her. I want to get her at least the matting done. I think I've mentioned this before, by the Rensselaer Studios. They're in Ohio, I believe. I'm gonna have to look it up. I believe they're in Ohio, but they do amazing matting for cross stitch projects. Oftentimes the opening in the mat reflects the work underneath, which I always thought was really, really cool. As well, they often do painting, matte painting, as well. Like she tries to mimic accents from the piece and bring it into the mat. So that is the goal. And here's my back. Okay, that is my goal for this piece, to get the matting done. So I'd send the piece off to the studio, to the framers, and I believe they will do the stretching and all that and the matting, and then they send you back matted. They could also do the framing, but I think just to save money, I'm just going to do the framing here. I'm just going to get the matting. Also saving money with shipping and I'd be a wreck thinking that there'd be like glass that could possibly break and, rip up the work. Because she was a lot of work, but so fun to stitch. Like, I couldn't believe I didn't want to put her down. And this is one project that I've done like this, start to finish, without really wanting to put her down. So I think that's good. But of course it is a dragon. So gorgeous. So gorgeous. I'm also on the Joan Elliott Facebook group. And there are several people at the moment who are either just where I'm at or just finished theirs. Sorry. And so it's interesting. Everyone's on all different different kinds of fabric, and the fabric just came out so well. It looks so good on this, and you can't see the face anymore. Yay! I'm so glad. You can kind of, if you knew it was there, it's right here underneath the moon. So if you knew it was there, definitely you would, you could still see it. I can still see it, but I don't think anyone else is going to be able to still see it. Yay! So much fun. There, great shot of her. Beautiful. Love it. I just wish I could show the sparkle more, because she is so sparkly everywhere. Just sparkles and shimmers. It's wonderful. So she's probably going to be very gently folded up and put in a Ziploc bag for protection, and placed somewhere until I can probably, afford the couple $100s to get her matted the right way, because she's definitely, I'm so proud of her. My first big piece with metallics and beading. This is my first huge, I did one across at a Mill Hill kit last Christmas that had beading, but it was this big. This was crazy beading. So again, with the interruptions, I had to do stuff that wasn't cross stitch related. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is I was going to do a little bit of review of the pattern. Since it was my first Joan Elliott pattern, I thought I would, talk about my, my feelings and all that about doing it. Obviously, I finished it in, I looked it up. I started on May 8th, and I finished it today. So that's 3.5 months. Actually, a little less than 3.5 months. And it, really amazed me that I was able to complete it so quickly. I mean, this one up here, my Hogwarts crest, I probably completed it in about 4 months of stitching time, but that was stretched over 8 months because I didn't stitch on a lot. She held my attention so well. So that was a bonus. The colors are just gorgeous and vibrant and happy, and made me happy and made me want to keep stitching. So those are all pluses. I'm definitely going to be doing more Joan Elliott. I'm actually really excited for the what's it called? A Wizard's View, which I've spoke about my plans for that previously. This one? Oh no, can't show the. Okay. This one, the wizard, and my plans to convert it to a female wizard. and definitely have plans for that. Don't know, because you know she was quite pricey to kit up, and I have a bunch of whips right now, so I'm not looking for getting anything new. But one day, yes, I will be doing more Joan Elliott's for sure. There's a few of her ladies that I really want to do. Her girls are very pretty. Too many projects, not enough time. Anyway, one thing though that kind of irked me a little bit was usage. So I went and I bought exactly what was on the list. Where's the list? Let me find the list. There it is. Okay. So I went and got exactly what was on the list as far as floss. You know, the DMC cotton and all the Krennic. So the materials specifically said 4 spools of the 9294 periwinkle. I'll show you what I have left. The periwinkle was the very light blue and pink, kind of purpley mauve one. Oh, you'll see it. This one. This was filling in the moon, was this color, as well as some accents and the tendrils and stuff. I put her away. She's safely stored away, so I'm not taking her back out right now. But anyway, the moon, the tendrils around her face, some tendrils around her tail, the outlining was all done in this one. So yes, 4 spools, and this is all I have left. So this is about 2/3 of a spool left. I don't mind that. I don't mind having 2/3 of a spool left. I needed 4 spools, and I used 4 spools. So good on them for that. Now, the next one was 3 spools of the pearl. Now here I'm not going to complain too much, but this is what I have left of the first spool I started using. I have about enough for that. And I have 2 untouched spools. One of the main reasons for this is the pattern called for this really fine border stitched in this, and I left it out because I thought it was more visually pleasing for myself, so I left it out. I bought the 3 spools because I didn't know how much was going to be used in the actual thing, so I thought it was safer to get, the 3 spools. So now I have 2 extra spools of white sparkly stuff, which, you know what, I'm probably be able to find things to use these in, so I'm not too miffed about that. Here's where I'm a little bit more So the next color was, I can't remember, I think these were all 2. Yes, so it was called for 2 spools of the Vatican, Purple Mambo, and Elfin Green. So we'll start with the Vatican, which the Vatican was only used for backstitching. Her scales were done in the Vatican, and there was some spots where the backstitching was done in it as well. Just the backstitching around outlines and stuff. And around her face she had a couple of like swirlies that were done in backstitched Vatican, but no full stitches, just back stitches. This is a spool I started with. I have a whole other spool. This should definitely have only been a 1 spool kind of request. I mean, I can't see in any way you could spend more than I did, and I'm pretty thrifty with my thread, but even so, there's at least a good 1/3 left on here, and I have a full other one, and it did say to buy 2, so that's a little bit, that irks me a little bit, especially since the Krennic is, okay, so they're like $2.50 a pop, but when you're buying 12 of them together, that comes at over $50, which is expensive, and if you don't have to spend that, obviously. But so I have a pale gold, which obviously I'm going to use it for other projects too. The next one was the Mambo, and the Mambo is that dark purple that's used in the ribbons. It's all cross stitches in the ribbons around her face. There's also cross stitching in the wing, or not cross stitching, back stitching in the wing to outline some of it, and a little bit in the face. And this is the spool I used, and this is a whole other spool. They asked for 2. There's no reason I needed to buy 2 spools of this. There's no way I could have wasted that much. Like, seriously, guys. Like, little excessive. So, yeah. And then the last one was the Elfin Green. Oh, I have the picture here. I have this right here. So, the purple mambo are these dark ones right here. If you can... You probably can't see, but like on the inside of this was all backstitched in the purple mambo, and in the inside of this all was backstitched with the purple mambo. And then of course the tendrils down here, and the tendrils around her face, and a little bit of backstitching in her face. Also there's backstitching around the hands in the purple mambo. I definitely did not need to buy two spools of this. One would have been more than enough. As you can see, this was the one I used. So the last one was, like I said, the Elfin Green. And the Elfin Green was strictly for these crossed inside the wings. That's the only place they show up. It's just back stitching right there. And again, they asked for 2 spools, and this is the one I used, and this is a whole full other one. This is probably only about, God, maybe a third. Maybe a third. Used. And I have a whole other one. So, you know, I'm just saying, if you're gonna do this pattern, if you know, if you have plans on doing it, keep that in mind, that at least of the Mambo, Vatican, and Elfin Green, you can get away with only 1 spool. Easy. If I can do it, you can do it. Unless you, like, double them up or something like that. I don't know. I have no idea how anyone would use 2 spools on that part. So, yeah, something to keep in mind for sure. The pearl, like I said, there's a huge border, so it's very possible the pearl would have been completely eaten up by that. So I'm not very unhappy with that. And, of course, the periwinkle was pretty much on par. So, you know. And I know everyone has their own, how much they can waste and how much, you know. But I'm a pretty thrifty stitcher, and it wasn't hard to, you know. And even then, I got, like, my orchard has a lot of sparklies right on the top. All that top is all very sparkly. So, you know, I wasn't stitching right to the ends. There's some pretty long pieces in here. Anyway, like I said, it is done, and I wanted to be cautious and make sure I had all the stuff. I didn't want to have to be stuck not stitching because, or stop my project. So all in all, very, very enjoyable. Definitely will do more Joan Elliott in the future. I forgot to mention this. In the beading, I bought 1 package each of the beads for this project, and I did not run out of any of them. I came close with the white ones, the ones that are in the moon. That's how many I have left. But still, enough. So, bead-wise, you know, I was completely happy with the amount that they, you know, I bought 1 package of each, and that's what I used. I mean, you can see the Elfin Green, and I can't remember what these were. These were not Elfin Green. These were something else. Those are kind of hematite. Anyway, but yeah. Beads-wise, you know, what they said was absolutely fine. My plans from now on are finish up the Ron McDonald House project. I want to get that done by the end of August, and I think if I work 1 good weekend on it, I will be able to finish it. So hopefully next weekend I can work on that. And then I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I should take a poll or something because I really should finish my Eternal Sailor Moon. because she is my longest running whip, and I really should take her out and finish her properly. There's also Tiger of the Heavens, which I was doing up until I started this one, which I was really enjoying. What else do I have going right now? Storytime sampler, but I can't remember where it is. I still can't find it. Oh yes, Dragon Rider. Yeah, Dragon Rider. I could pull Dragon Rider out again. Oh boy. Just thinking about that project makes me kind of weak in the knees. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, we'll see. It'll be a mystery after I get, but I now definitely need to get Ronald McDonald House done first. So I hope you guys all have a great stitching weekend, and may there be plenty of finishes in your future. Bye.